Welcome to Thanks America. Nope, that's not the name of the podcast.
Already going well.
Hi, welcome to Thanks Academy, the podcast where we watch all the best picture winners in random order with random friends. And today's random friend, all the way from Columbus, Ohio, is Brooke Cartus.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited you're here.
Oh, I'm so excited too. This is it's a joy to be in air conditioning and watch a movie with you in this swamp town that is Austin, Texas.
Oh my goodness, the people in Houston who are listening, do you hear that? We're Swamp Town now, baby. Back off.
Sorry, Houston. You can always have that moniker.
No, it's fine. They're going to be underwater in 5 years. We'll be the swamp at that point.
Yeah, it'll just keep eking up. Texas and Florida will be gone.
Oh my God, what are we watching today?
We are watching Shakespeare in Love.
Oh my God.
Which is... It's amazing it won an Oscar, and I've only seen parts of it on TNT. Like, you know how TNT or cable like shows those movies?
Oh, I love this movie.
They cut them down to like 50 minutes. So I've like seen snippets of it, like snippets of white heteronormativity, but never the whole thing. And like, what could happen, you know? So it's exciting because the story is always so different.
Oh, I know. This is 20 years old, and I saw it the year it came out. That's the only time. I've only seen it once.
Wow.
And I remember I went to see it at that time. I was in high school. I went because two reasons. One, it was a story of two theater nerds falling in love, and I was standing for that all the way in high school.
Oh, yeah.
I would watch any movie that was about that.
You had like a picket sign.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
like,
it's
yes,
like,
nerds.
I'm all about this. And then number two, I pushed my glasses up my nose and watched that. Like, is this accurate Shakespearean history? And it is not. And so I got real
Spoiler
mad.
alert, listeners. It is not.
It is so not. So all I remember about this movie is that Joseph Fiennes is in high femme mode and Gwyneth Paltrow's in high butch mode, and somehow it's still supposed to be the story of how the most heterosexual play of all time was written.
Yes. And
That's
like,
all I remember.
I remember Gwyneth Paltrow. I remember hearing about it when it came out because she was topless, I think, or
Yes, I also heard
something.
about that part. Yeah.
And I remember
But she's topless after wearing a binder, a chest binder.
Right,
which
which
is actually pretty badass. You don't get to see that too much.
exactly,
Yeah.
like very, very gender bending in a weird way,
Yeah.
but still so traditional. Like, it's amazing when Hollywood takes things that the queer community and trans and gender nonconforming community have been like doing for years and finding hot.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's sterilize this and make it not sexy and part of our zeitgeist. I think it's interesting. So I remember that, but that wasn't on TNT. They cut that.
They cut that part?
I remember that part.
I think that pissed me off because it's like you're using this great queer way of telling the straightest story of all time. I mean, Romeo and Juliet is the straightest possible story because not only are Romeo and Juliet hetero, like opposite sexes, but like they come from opposite families and the families don't talk and like their friends are all within their circle, just like dude time, chick time, like that.
You just described Greece also.
I described every hetero thing ever. Like, not only can the romantic leads have to be separated, but their whole spheres have to be different, or it's not hot.
Yeah. Can we call the Capulets the Pink Ladies, and
Let's
then
do it.
and then the Montagues are the Greasers, or no, the T-Birds. The T-Birds. Yeah, that's
I think that
so
works.
good.
I think you could also call them Sharks and Jets because that movie was based on
Oh,
Romeo and
that's
Juliet.
good. Yeah, that's a little less. That's a little more on the nose. I feel like than my ancillary metaphor. I think the only reason I love Romeo and Juliet as another theater nerd is because I got through English classes.
Right.
Our teacher would say, if you memorize monologues from the Shakespeare plays we're doing, you get extra credit.
Oh.
And I absolutely sucked at writing, but I could memorize anything.
Okay.
So I memorized every single one of Romeo's monologues and did them all for her.
Oh my God.
And she was like, you have to stop doing this. Like, and I was like, you didn't put a cap. You didn't put a cap on the number of monologues, and that's how I passed English in high school.
She said because you were doing it so often, not because you were doing Romeo.
No.
Okay.
No.
Good.
Oh yeah, no. She didn't care who I memorized, but I never memorized Queen Mab because I didn't have that kind of time. That was excessive. But it was the only thing that got me to pass English. So go team on Romeo and Juliet and my teacher not reading the fine print and the contractual language she had created for us. Put a cap on it, Bev.
I love that moment. There's always that wonderful moment that comes along like 3 times in your whole life where you can tell your teacher to read the syllabus.
That was it, yes.
Yeah.
It was like so nerdy.
It's right
so
in there.
lonely. So, yeah. All right, well, let's get started on this heteronormative trip down memory lane. 20 years old.
It's 20 years old.
Oh, my God.
I'm feeling old talking about that
I
part.
was 12 then it came out. So that's why I haven't seen it. Because I would have had to like sneak into the theater. What other movies came out 20 years ago? That was, so it was 1998.
98 would have been like what, Hackers?
Oh my God,
Or is that older than that?
I'm like 12, so I'm thinking like, what Disney movie was it? You know what I mean? That we were like
that was,
stuck with.
I want to say Hercules.
Oh,
I'm not really good at movies in years, but I want to say. What did
that
this
would be it.
beat? I always like to look that up.
Mulan.
Oh, Mulan was 2000.
Oh.
Wow, it was a gender-bendy year.
Yeah, it was. That feminist manifesto that Mike Pence hates. Mulan.
That's right.
Sometimes when I'm really sad,
Yeah.
I reread that open letter Mike Pence wrote about the damage that Mulan will do to American culture.
When I'm sad, I look up that viral video of him proclaiming National Garfield Day on the House floor.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, because I guess the Garfield guy is from his district or whatever, so there's a picture of him pointing at a chart with Garfield on it on the House floor.
Oh.
And it's just delicious.
Garfield, the Christian cat.
Yeah.
He eats alone with John all the time, and it's fine. So who knows how that works?
Exactly. He's never dining with other strange women.
No, he's not allowed.
Oh,
That is
boy.
so weird. What movies did it beat out? Okay,
Right.
First of all, it should have beat out every single movie. I don't even know what was up, but it should have beat out everything.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Awards. I'm looking at who won. Now I want to see who's nominated. Here we go. Shakespeare in Love, which, by the way, let us not forget, was produced by Harvey Weinstein, so
Ooh.
R.I.P.
Great.
Yeah, and then this beat out Elizabeth. I remember this. It was a big year for Elizabethan
Oh,
shit.
yes, I do remember that.
Life is Beautiful?
How the hell
Wait, it gets better.
did it beat out Life is Beautiful?
The Thin Red Line.
What the heck?
Wait, save the best for
I'm not
last.
even swearing.
And Saving Private Ryan.
What?
So,
I've also
there
been around
were-
a toddler all day, so I'm saying things like, what the heck? And golly.
So we've got the storming of Normandy, we've got the Holocaust from the inside, we've got the Vietnam War, we've got the Elizabethan Queendom, and then we have this fake-ass shit about completely nonsense history.
Who was the director of this? Because, like, who won? That's what I'm wondering, right? Because isn't it kind of like...
John Madden.
Oh, I don't even know who it is.
He's famous for doing middle-of-the-road shit like this, basically. Let me see. He did Mrs. Brown. He did Shakespeare in Love. Ethan Frome. He's not done much. Captain Corelli's Mandolin. He's sort of like a lame, non-thinking person's Merchant Ivory director.
This is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That list. I mean, Life is Beautiful.
I mean,
alone. I'm like...
It's a surefire Oscar winner. And then
yes! And also a great movie.
I think
like-
all those serious histories canceled each other out. And they
Yes.
were like, fuck, give
and
it
they
to
were
the
like,
kiss.
yeah, give it to just fluff. Right. What's a movie with Drew Barrymore in it? Let's give it to that.
Is she in this?
No, I'm just kidding. I know you just got excited. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disappoint you.
I love when I forget that famous people are in movies.
Actually, you know what? This is going to be a joy because I have no idea who's even in this. Like, I
Okay.
really don't. Besides Gwyneth Paltrow's boobs.
Okay, I'm really super excited.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Is that Comic Sans for the London 1593 moniker?
They couldn't even find a baseline. We get it. They didn't have technology.
Oh my gosh, 20 years. Oh, there you go.
Thatched roof cottages.
Do you know, like, how hard the set designers and the production team, like, jerked off about how fucking sick it would be to build this?
Oh, seriously.
They were just like, could we build a theater on the round?
build the globe.
Build the globe.
I
Build
just
the
came.
rose.
Oh, this is the rose. I'm sorry.
That's, wait, I don't, or did they just not want to use the globe?
There's
Is
copyright
this, like-
issues.
Yes, right. They're like, we can't use it.
They couldn't get permission from Shakespeare's estate.
Right, exactly. I hope they didn't.
Oh. Yeah, he's full Jack Sparrow mode.
I know.
Kicking shit with his boots.
Yeah, getting coins. Look at that jacket.
Wearing a leather jacket.
Bomber jacket.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes. Just don't even worry about buttoning your V-neck. Just let it out, girl.
Exactly. Man, you are so Shane right now.
Yes, oh my god. He is the Shane of the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Or not the Renaissance. What is this? Elizabethan?
Elizabethan?
Yeah, jumping the gun.
Yeah. Well, those pants are kind of ruining it, though.
That's true. Yeah, Shane would wear like the skinniest knickers.
Just tights.
Just tights.
Tights
Yeah.
were available.
They were.
Oh, did he just buy some cocaine?
Does he just wait? I don't know. Was it a snack? Where is he now?
How much you want to bet Gwyneth Paltrow's the only woman in this movie?
So far. Oh, maybe that was a female dog, though. Look at them.
Is that Billy Connolly? Nope.
Woman 1.
Oh,
Let's get a tally going.
she walks by.
Yeah, she didn't have a line, though. Okay, so it has to be a speaking woman.
Yes, yes.
You're so needy, Karina.
Hold on, here it comes. Nope.
Wait for it. She's got boobs, but no mouth.
Let's see.
This, my memoir.
Nope. This isn't that funny. Not even in the
Who's that? Who's that? Who's
It's
that?
Colin Firth.
It's Colin Firth!
It's Colin Firth!
She's like Kim from Bye Bye Birdie. Like, what is happening?
So far, she's more convincing as Pepper Potts.
Oh, I almost said or Peppa Pig, but I
No.
realized maybe our listeners aren't
No.
as into Peppa Pig as I am with my nephews.
Oh, I have terrible news.
Did she win an Oscar?
She won the Best Actress Oscar for this.
That is terrible news, Karina.
She beat Kate Blanchett,
What?
who played Elizabeth. Meryl Streep.
Oh, I bet Meryl Streep. I bet her friends. I bet Meryl Streep's friends roast her about that all the time. If you were Meryl Streep's friend, would you be like, remember that one time Gwyneth Paltrow beat you?
A good laugh.
Also, don't worry, audience. We'll let you know if we see a person of color ever.
Oh no, it's Elizabethan England. It has to be historically accurate or it's not entertaining.
Right? Yeah.
Even though nothing about this is historically accurate.
They're like, we draw the line at white supremacy.
Exactly. Oh shit. We got a Butch Paltrow on the stage.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Hey, mister, I'm carrying my grains here.
Bonjour, good day. How is your family? Like, what is happening in this scene?
Yes. Oh my god, a rowboat getaway.
Wait, what is happening?
I don't know, she's very fast.
Follow that boat, what you are, Governor.
Right you are, Governor. Mary Poppins.
Right, you are. I'm just going to draw a chalk drawing of where she's going and we'll leap right in.
Yes, yes, I think I've seen you in something. That one about King.
Really?
I had that Crystal Marlowe in my boat, man.
Yeah, this happens with every Uber driver I get to.
Oh my gosh, I had an Uber driver in LA who was like, yeah, I'm a comedian.
Oh,
and
that
I didn't,
happens too.
And I didn't tell them I was a comedian just to see what happened, and it was
Yeah.
totally worth it.
Oh, it's always worth it.
Oh,
I'm always like, where do you perform?
the best.
Here in the car, mostly.
Oh my gosh! Gwyneth Paltrow put her hair down, now we know it's her.
I'm surprised. And I'm glad she did, though, because she couldn't run up the stairs with her hair up.
That's true.
She'd fall over.
Our guests are upon us.
Huzzah! The Airlock men are returned to the house!
Oh,
Ben
gee.
Affleck!
What?
Enzo!
He just strolled in from
Tour!
tour? Strolled in from a Kevin Smith movie.
Look at that goatee!
That's the painted on. He's gonna say, he dies?
Explain.
Dies.
Explain.
Oh, this movie's so predictable. Okay.
Explain to me
Pages!
where all of these people got like Dollar Shave Club level
I know, right?
razors. Their facial hair is extremely intricate.
I guess leeches? Did you just put the leech in this?
Leeches sound legit.
And this is for you.
All these lines are in Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, I know. see why it won Best Screenplay?
Wait a minute, why can't we just call it that? All these lines are from Romeo and Juliet. Give us an Oscar, fellow whites.
It was the owl, believe me, love, it was the owl.
Get out of my bed.
Leave us players without a scene to read today.
Wow.
Women, am I right?
Yeah, that's called negotiating a man's horniness.
It is a new world.
Okay. Losing your virginity is pretty great.
Everything is obvious. That's what they should have called
Everything
this.
is obvious.
Everything is obvious.
Does not saints' lips and holy palmers too? I know them. Lips that they must use in prayer.
If we could
Oh
stop,
my god, look at him hugging the... What?
if we could stop cutting to Josephine's humping a piece of wood, I really want to see these two cross-dressers getting into like a Romeo and Juliet scene.
Yes.
The grunt for prayer.
Stop looking at her. Pull back. I want to see this. This is good.
It's you.
Gwyneth Paltrow. They were a thing.
They were a thing?
They were a thing, Bennett.
No.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes, before before J-Lo, it was Ben and Gwen.
What satisfaction can
Maybe this was it.
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
Oh man, he let Goop get away.
Yeah.
My love is deep. The more I give to thee,
Think.
both sides.
Ben Affleck, 97 to 2000.
Yes.
After her relationship with Brad Pitt and before meeting ex-husband Chris Martin.
Yes.
So this was 98, so they must have met on the
he's
set.
literally pissed he's not in the lead role.
Literally.
Literally pissed.
Well,
Oh my god, I like this, Gwyneth.
Yeah, they hit that phase of the relationship.
Like, you can't fight anyone, you pansy. Like, all right.
We've had enough sex that I no longer think you're an amazing poet.
Oh, fact. We've all
time-
been there.
it's time
This
for
is
you.
like hitting like every single time I sleep with a cis man real hard. Like, this is exactly what happens. I turn into a puddly mush of mess for exactly 3 weeks, and then they say something to me like, "Oh, me too" is blown out of proportion, and
then
then
you're
my
like,
vagina
"Bye-bye."
seals up like a change purse, and I'm done.
For my lady's country cousin.
What is happening?
I love how she's walking.
You know what? If you can't act, just show. Okay, for everyone listening, Karina's going to try to walk. It looks like she's high.
Alright, yeah. Alright, hold on. I'm Gwyneth Paltrow and my boyfriend just got slapped. Okay.
Okay, you think your boyfriend just got stabbed? That's it's a little too. No, you gotta. No.
Okay.
That was good.
Alright.
It was a little
I
too
moved my
wobbly.
hips to a too wobbly.
Yes, yeah.
Alright.
Depression is very stiff.
Stiff. Okay.
And your eyes are
Yeah.
like walking through syrup. It's like the vibe.
It's the saggy head that. Wait, what just happened?
Wait, what just happened?
Oh, he showed up, and now.
Why did he run out?
Well, because he thinks the ghost is there. Macbeth. That's how Macbeth got written.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Cool. So we're not going to blame society for the ridiculous rules, but let's blame the woman.
Oh yeah, it's totally her fault. And let's all make her feel it. And let's stare
Feel
at her.
it.
Feel it. Feel the shame.
Feel it. You're a
To be an actor.
monster.
You can't be an actor. You're just a woman.
Wonderful.
Holy shit. They make fun of stutterers so much in this Oscar-winning film. Oh.
Oh yeah, the play's trash now because.
Wait, why is it trash? Wait, Ben Affleck is secretly a misogynist and annoyed he didn't get the role now?
He's just pissed his girlfriend got fired.
Fair.
All right.
How are they going to do it? How are they going to pull it off? Is Romeo and Juliet ever going to be put on the stage and become a famous play?
Come the play?
Gross.
Which she didn't eat. What is that?
Jesus. Yeah, she must be sick.
Right. That looked like Play-Doh food my nephews make.
I know, it looked like cat food that some frozen peas spilled into.
This is a very historically accurate movie, Karina, and I don't need your sass. Look at her just in a pile of gauzy linen, reading the play.
She just unraveled some crepe paper all over herself.
I got it at clearance, then Joann's.
That would have been great.
It was at the dollar store.
This is so gendered.
Yes.
Yes, Brooke.
Yes, it is, Brooke.
I'm going to the bathroom. I can't take this.
All right. Do you want me to pause it or do
No,
you get it?
don't pause it.
Got it.
Don't make me go through this. Oh my gosh.
To new mutiny, where civil blood
Yeah.
and civil hands unclean.
Speech disabilities are a myth. Academy Award-winning movie. Speech disabilities are a myth.
They had to give it to the King's Speech just to make up for this role.
That's fair. You know what? I will take that penance.
Wait, wasn't that Colin Firth?
Oh my god, it was! I thought it was the King's Peach for the longest time.
Was Judi Dench the queen in that one too?
She's always the queen.
She's always the queen.
It's like her contractual agreement with the world. Oh my god.
Ugh.
Sexy Elizabethan bellhops.
What's that, Belky?
I'll be with you, son.
But what happens to her?
She dies, goes native.
What?
She
Is
meets
this
a-
the beginning of Tarzan?
She meets-
What is happening?
She meets a volleyball.
Written by Tom Stoppard
Yes!
of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead fame.
Yes!
Tom Stoppard wrote this garbage heap?
Yes.
Tom, if you're listening.
He wrote the parts that were just Shakespeare's words copied out.
Yes, they couldn't.
Because he knows them the most. Alright, well, alright. I don't think we need to watch all these credits because she's just going to keep walking, right?
Does she make it?
Go through the desert.
I really want like a bear to just come out.
Just come galloping out on the sand and just devour her.
Yes.
Now you're like that kid who kills mice.
I am. John Webster really played a critical role in just fucking everything up.
That's right. Alright, Shakespeare in love. All right.
Shakespeare in a very self-involved place.
Shakespeare.
All right.
Shakespeare in his own ass.
Yes. Shakespeare falling in love with someone only because they are saying his thoughts.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
This is the ultimate cis straight man fantasy.
It is Shakespeare in love with himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Shakespeare in love with the Academy. What an absolute joke. Judi Dench won her only Oscar
That's it.
for this. I will give, you know what, that's worth it then. That's worth it.
If that's the one good thing this movie ever put into this planet, she deserved an Oscar for being Judi Dench.
That's what I'm saying,
She
yeah.
didn't necessarily deserve an Oscar for the 12 lines that she said with a straight face, except for her one little happy smile.
I have no idea, like, how her other performances stack up, because she's just amazing.
Yes.
But I think they just decided, fuck it all with this and give away Oscars like they were candy.
Yeah, it's Oscar time, baby. Let's just throw some Oscars around.
For none of the men.
No,
Which I
well,
do appreciate.
I mean, the producers.
Yes, well, obviously the men are producers, but no
director.
acting, right? So
That's
Ben
true.
Affleck, Joseph Fiennes,
Yeah.
Colin Firth,
Jeffrey Rush.
none of them won anything.
Although I think haven't all of them except for Joseph Fiennes won an Oscar
Yes, I think so.
since then? Yeah. Well, Colin Firth for King's Speech, did he win or was he just
I
nominated?
think he might have just won. This is remarkable. All right,
Okay.
top 3 most terrible parts.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna start at Shakespeare in love with himself. So let's break this down.
I like that.
You're Shakespeare, the writer. That's
Yes.
your historical place in the world.
Yes.
In this movie, you're Shakespeare, the dude who can fuck whoever he wants, even though he's married,
Yes.
who writes his own parts for himself, and then casts the one person who knows his lines in that place, and then watches her rehearse it while he has sex with her, saying his own words back to him, and then eventually he gets to play that part, and once again, Mary Sue himself into Romeo, but now she's Juliet, and he gets to have sex with her yet again. Basically, it's just Shakespeare up his own butt.
I think that's a great summary.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah.
Except
Okay.
for, I think a really important piece of the self-adoration, or
Yes.
maybe like that, is Oh my God, I just lost it. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Keep going. All right, number 2.
Number
Most
2.
terrible part.
Second most terrible part. Gwyneth Paltrow's acting.
Ooh, that's good. Hear that, Academy?
She won Best Actress.
No, you did it wrong. Gwyneth Paltrow's acting!
I wish I had a Shakespeare book up here so I could read Shakespeare the way she reads it.
You don't even need to.
It definitely sounds like a high schooler just reading in class.
Yes.
With like a lot of emphasis on a lot of words, but
Here's this. I'm going to open the Weather Channel app and we're going to read a summary of the weather.
great. Okay.
And we are going to do it
as Gwyneth Paltrow.
as Gwyneth Paltrow.
in this movie.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I believe in us. Here we go. Hourly forecast.
Okay.
Time 5 p.m. Conditions partly cloudy. Temperature 97 degrees. Precipitation 0%. Wind from the southeast at 10 miles per hour. Here, you take 6 p.m. I believe in you.
All right, hold on. Okay, so that was dramatic Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm gonna find a little bit more narrative and do just regular talking Gwyneth Paltrow.
Regular talking.
Regular talking Gwyneth Paltrow, just in a standard scene. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Air quality, good air quality is considered satisfactory in air pollution, little to no risk. Primary pollutant ozone source EPA air now. Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. Like she's just randomly mushing words together at top speed.
That
Like,
actually
there's
sounded
no-
like it was French.
Thank you.
Because it was so
yeah.
you couldn't even understand what she was saying. I needed subtitles for this because it was so
Even though we understood every word.
right. It
The
was
sentences never came together.
no, because she would pause it right in the middle of a sentence and then run it into the next sentence, and it was
Right.
almost like she didn't understand the structure of iambic pentameter.
It was a little bit like if William Shatner was in a hurry.
Oh my god! Also, they missed an opportunity casting Ben Stiller as Zoolander in the role of Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Like, it could have just been Blue Steel the whole time, and then when Mercutio is killed, he could have been like, you know I can't turn left! And he would have had to, like, turn in stage right, and died without the audience seeing it. And then in the first performance,
Yeah.
he turns left.
Because he overcomes his disability.
Exactly,
Yes.
because disabilities are a myth.
Oh, this is so 90s. Every tiny subplot had a happy ending. Except
true.
except for Mouse Kid.
No, Mouse Kid is John Webster. He goes on to be a famous macabre playwright.
No, he just liked John Webster.
No, I thought he was John Webster.
Oh, I don't know.
I think, yeah, because he said, what's your name, boy? And he said John Webster.
Oh.
And that's why he says he likes the dark stuff, because he is a famous playwright after, older, or after Shakespeare.
Right, okay, so he okay, fine.
So that is even neat,
That's-
because he becomes a successful playwright. Everything is neat like their goatees.
Oh my god, their goatees are so neat. How were they shaving? I mean, even with modern shaving equipment, that's not the easiest thing to pull off. A perfectly triangular facial patch.
I don't even know how they did it for Gwyneth Paltrow's fake one.
Yeah, how did they cut it?
Did
that
they
well?
kill a dog? Is what I'm wondering.
Did they kill a very triangle-shaped dog? Because there's no way.
We didn't actually watch the credits, so animals could have been harmed during the movie. We don't know if PETA signed on to this.
I don't know.
I don't think they did, because I think mostly Gwyneth's extensions were made of cat.
And also, Gwyneth Paltrow was there to PETA it up, I think.
Yeah, that's
there
true.
There were 2 or 3 very good boys in this movie. I was excited to see them.
Which ones?
The dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, please
There was,
don't
like,
tell me. That's it.
2 schnauzers and kind of just a mutt, a very, very beautiful.
Yeah, really
kind of
nice, like
caramel
light
and
eyes.
white mutt, like almost like a lassie, but no different.
Yeah, he was nice. Again, a rough and tumble mutt from the streets wins over.
He was dreamier than Joseph Fiennes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, third worst part of the movie
Yeah.
has to be the script.
Yes.
Has to be the whole script. I'm not saying the actors did themselves any favors with their terrible acting.
Academy Award-winning Best Screenplay. So the 3 worst things
Beat
about this
Out
movie.
Life is beautiful for best screenplay.
The 3 worst things about this movie are the 3 things that got Oscars.
Okay,
Yeah.
screenplay,
Yep.
Gwyneth Paltrow's acting,
And the whole movie overall. Just the whole story they wanted to tell.
Absolutely remarkable. What a remarkably terrible script.
This screenplay, so it was half by Tom Stoppard. Like, there's two dudes. And
shocking.
He wrote Rosencrantz or Guildenstern are Dead, which is like a behind-the-scenes reimagining of how Shakespeare stuff would work, right? And I think what they told him to do was do that again, and then had some other dude come in and write a self-involved man plot on top of it.
Yes,
That's
and
my
then they
theory.
layered it
Yeah.
like two shitty doilies.
Two shitty doilies that are you're never going to peel them apart because someone spilled a little Diet Coke on one of them. Now they're like totally stuck together.
That stuff is like glue.
It is after a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what happened. Also, Tom Stoppard, like, are you want for money, bruh?
I have a feeling that he got paid a lot of money to literally copy Shakespeare's words.
To consult.
Yes.
To be a consultant writer on this.
He was the one man in Hollywood they knew who owned a Shakespeare book.
Yes. Who was like, he knows what this is.
Yeah.
He knows how to spell Shakespeare.
He's got one of those big books that says unabridged with an apostrophe before the last D.
That's how you know it's good.
That's how you know
Yeah,
it's
that
authentic.
is. Fuck ease.
Authentic
That's what
with
I always
a K
say.
at the end.
Authentic with 3 Ks at the end. This show was white.
It was so white.
Oh my gosh. Now I get it. You are going to ignore all other historical markers,
Yeah.
but hold on to the whiteness so hard.
There was so little historical accuracy embedded into this movie that the first scene is William Shakespeare going to a psychiatrist, laying down on his couch and telling him his troubles. And yet, no, we couldn't possibly cast anybody who doesn't look extremely peachy lily white.
I also have a huge problem in knowing a lot about birth control with like her just having reckless sex at the peak of her sexual what's the word?
Everything.
She literally at that age you could get like pregnant looking at a dick, and she just didn't even get pregnant. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That is not how this works. She's gonna have a Josephine's baby in Virginia. 110% cover it. Or show her using Elizabethan birth control, which I'm trying to think what that was, because the 1800s you put Lysol up there.
They had condoms.
Condoms. There was no condoms.
There was references to condoms in Shakespeare's play. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's how he thought of how to write condoms.
Oh, because he got her knocked up.
Because she made him use them.
You know what? If she did get pregnant, he would have definitely blamed her.
That's true. That was
Yes.
kind of his move.
Because it was her fault that she didn't know he was married.
At one point, she has an opportunity to call him on that, and then he starts, like, I was the one who was more deceived in our relationship, and instead of calling him on that, she says, you're right, you were more deceived because I didn't show you how much I loved you. And I was like, no, don't let him get away with that.
It happened. What an absolute disaster.
So much of this happened.
So much of this happened. I am like absolutely drained from misogyny. And I had like a real queer night last night. I feel like I need to balance this out with like Tu Wong Fu.
Yep.
Maybe
There
some
was-
adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Let's talk about the queerness of the space. in
There
this
was
movie.
well, let's talk about the queerness of this movie first.
Yes,
because
queerness
there
of
was
this
an
movie.
excellent queer movie in this movie that if they had just made different editing decisions, like the footage is definitely there. There is so much cross-dressing. There is so much gender play. There is so much like kind of homosexual kissing.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
At one point, I think I just blurted out like this movie would be amazing and a deserved classic if instead of Gwyneth Paltrow, it was cast to be a young boy for reals, and that Shakespeare falling in love with a young boy inspired Romeo and Juliet would be
Oh my
a
gosh.
queer love story for the ages.
So good. And also, like, you could do that in a way still keeping him being, you know, part of like an aristocratic family.
Oh, of course, the whole thing.
Everything else could stay. The whole subplot of him being married,
Yes.
off
Yep.
to a woman.
Yes.
You know, everything else about it works. It would have been so easy. And it would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense for Shakespeare to be gay than for him to be this stupidly straight. Because then him deceiving his wife wouldn't have the same sting.
Correct.
You know, it'd be a little bit more
Absolutely.
like, oh, he just didn't allow himself to have his true feelings.
Well, and he wasn't allowed to,
Yeah.
right? So even, you know, again, like the morality of the time
Right.
was that men were I would say, expected to cheat. I don't think there was ever really an expectation of monogamy for men.
Not as much, especially if you weren't in the same city, which they weren't. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But we still have in this incredible moment where Gwyneth Paltrow's in the bar and finds out that Shakespeare's married and like loses her mind, because this was still made in 1998 when like this toxic monogamy bullshit that has infiltrated America is still a huge part of what we consider romance.
Right.
And it's absolute bullshit. So
But
if you're
if
going
you
to make me
make it
go
gay,
through that, yes!
Then it's fine. And also the end, okay, now obviously that's one historically accurate thing, is that women weren't allowed to act in those times, in Elizabethan times, and you could get your theater shut down for allowing a woman to act in the play, but they had to really strain at that. They had to strain at two things. One, that people didn't think Gwyneth Paltrow was a woman, and two, that when they did find out, it was worth shutting down the whole fucking play for. And that three, at the very end, when the queen, who made all these rules, came out, didn't care that a woman was acting on stage. Now, what if this was a gay man? And what if the little boy caught them having gay kissy times?
Ooh.
Now the theater's getting shut down for licentiousness, but it's a he said thing, and like they can't really prove anything. It's just like what this one boy saw, and they can have that argument, and the love can still be hidden and forbidden, and it doesn't have to strain all the credulity of like, oh, they really can't tell that's a girl? Like,
right. You don't have to leave, literally, you just don't have to like leave all that believability in the trash.
Yes.
Another really wonderful thing, and the reason I'm not surprised they didn't go that direction, is how I was talking with someone about the difference between why trans women, specifically trans women of color, but trans women across the board are murdered at like a much higher rate than trans men.
Right.
And I've actually gotten in a lot of fights with people about this, because with trans men, sometimes they're like, no, like, I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just looking at statistics.
Right.
Statistically speaking, it happens. And a lot of people say the reason it is because it's our internalized misogyny.
Yes.
So it's, why would you level down and be a woman? Why would you level down in our society? Trans men we can get behind because we're like, oh, that makes sense. Everything's better for you. Everything's easier for you. If you're a man, life is easier. But the rage people feel of why you would want to be less than. And that would have been like such a good, like him playing a young boy playing Juliet.
Yes.
It would have been just such a demonstration of that like fragile male rage.
I think so. I think what you're talking about is half true. I think that is a good indicator of why trans women are sort of like in the social sphere so reviled on a level that trans men don't face. And people, in fact, just kind of ignore the fact that trans men exist. When you say transgender stuff, everybody immediately goes to trans women in
I
the brain.
totally think, yeah.
And
because it's
they're
so revolutionary.
They're appalled about that step down. I think that's what... The murder part, I think, has a lot more to do with gay panic and male sexuality, not being able to handle the fluidity of it, because most of the murders take place once they discover that the woman they thought they were going to have sex with has a penis. It's usually in those intimate settings.
And I think, obviously, race is a huge factor
and race
as well.
Culture is an enormous factor, which is associated with race in our society. But yeah, it is. It's like if your culture is less accepting or less open to homosexuality and bisexuality, then the murder rate for trans women is way higher.
Right. Yeah. And I think also the victims, in thinking about, we oftentimes try not to associate race and culture with statistics on poverty, but if you are in poverty, you are more likely to be a victim of violent crime. Like that's just their statistics.
That's true too. Yeah,
it all plays in. I just think like they missed so many opportunities to be revolutionary. It's mind-boggling.
They're right there. They're sitting on the table. Even if we don't gender swap Gwyneth Paltrow's part, there's so many things in there that's exploring her. I don't think she was set up to be a trans male character.
No.
But I do think that there's a Mulan thing going on where like her feminist fight against the unfair restrictions on her being able to act and express herself artistically only can be taken care of in a trans way is fascinating. And the number of times her binder gets unwound. You know what I mean? Like
I do, yeah. And I wonder if that was less about, I know we talk a lot about editing, and Tarantino's editor, who was a woman, cinematographer, passed away before Django Unchained, and a lot of critics said like Django has these moments of just way too long scenes.
Yeah.
And it's because this woman wasn't there to be like rein it in.
Yep.
And I think in thinking about the editing of those moments, I don't know who the cinematographer was.
The gaze was always through Joseph Fiennes' eyes
Yeah.
instead of through Gwyneth Paltrow's, and that's her story is more interesting than his in this movie. But
Oh
we
my
don't
gosh.
ever get her point of view.
Fragile white dude struggles through multiple affairs.
No, but we're only in his point of view. It's
The
so
whole
annoying.
time.
Yeah.
We don't even that's what drives me crazy even about that scene where she even auditions for his play. We don't get her coming to the theater. We
Nope.
don't get her making the decision with her nurse to even do this.
Nope.
She just shows up on stage in drag. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, seriously. And, I just thought of this. We never see her putting on her drag. We only see her take it off. And it comes off 5 or 6 times in this movie. Sometimes comically, sometimes deliberately, sometimes sexily. But it never goes on. We never see her put the wig on. We never see her put the male clothes on.
Why do you think that is?
Because they don't want to tell her story. They don't want to tell the feminist story of her fighting to be in this play. They want to tell his story of falling in love with this girl who likes his words. It's a very selfish, male, artistic story.
Oh, it's so infuriating.
It's
It is
the
so
worst.
True. Right, and her...
She's basically a manic pixie dream girl, except she's Gwyneth Paltrow and she's too stuffy to be manic and pixie.
Right, so we just watched...
Well, she has a pixie cut when she's in drag.
We watched Elizabethan Garden State.
Yes!
And I think it is again such a great example of another mediocre man expecting an extraordinary woman to meet him where he is.
Yep.
And then it happening and still taking it all for granted.
Yep.
That is the most infuriating thing about all these movies is these men who literally are bringing nothing to the table are supposed to be worshipped. And she does because of the writing.
And now for the literary crime, which is taking all of that story that we just exposed as a stupid, narrow-minded male fantasy and saying that inspired William Shakespeare's brilliant, sarcastic takedown of immature love. Romeo and Juliet is not a play about true love. It is a sarcastic and mean play about the idiocy that people will get themselves into over what they think is love. That is so misinterpreted by our culture over and over again, and how could you miss it? The ending is not tragedy. The ending is a big fuck you to idiots. Stupid kids who think that love is something that's going to save the day. It's really making me mad. 120% right now.
I think that's so fascinating.
I was
because
mad
it
at this
is
in high school, and I'm twice as mad now.
It's so. It's our culture of martyrdom in a play. It's so ideal.
Oh.
The only thing that would make it better is if they were both first responders. We just love the hero.
This is the most fucking American take on a British story.
Yes.
I mean, everything,
yes.
They're like, it takes place in Britain, but let's make everything about it American.
There's not one sarcastic line. They don't have any of Shakespeare's
Except
humor.
for Judi Dench.
Right, which is probably why she won an
got some
Oscar.
fucking Oscar. Yeah.
But there's just not, it's so self-important. It takes itself way too seriously, which is antithetical to all of Shakespeare's plays.
It's very slapsticky.
Oh!
The humor is definitely aimed at a 12-year-old boy, even though, well, I guess the boobs were too. I was going to say, even though it was rated R for boobs.
Yeah, it was really marketed to me in 7th grade, which is when it came out.
Exactly.
But I still am not really into femmes. Yeah. Shoot.
She doesn't work. But we were both on board with Winona Ryder. If she was in the movie, I think we would just overlook all of this and be totally happy.
You know what? And it wouldn't have won Best Picture.
No, it wouldn't have. But we're just, as two shallow lesbians, we would just...
Winona!
Everything, all of this male chauvinism would be forgiven if you gave us Winona Ryder in drag.
So let's just really... Why did this win the Oscar for Best Picture? Because this is why we're here.
The late 90s, because keep in mind, this is the run here was Titanic, Shakespeare in Love, American Beauty... And I can't remember what 2000 was. It was a run of, what do you call them? Mopey white male stories?
Yes, cis white male, struggles.
Okay, and remember what was going on in America then. This was Bill Clinton on trial for getting away with being a scumbag. And the fact that he was on trial was sucky, and the fact that he was a scumbag was sucky, and America did not know what to do with this information. But at the time, all the voices in the media were white men, so their move was to say, hey, when white men make mistakes, you have to forgive them because they're just doing it from the heart. and just ignore, you know what I mean? Like, that was the narrative of America in the late 90s, and all the counter narratives to that, all the queer narratives were getting squished. This was a time of great regressive laws against queers, and there was it was just like,
well, yeah,
this
because Lawrence v. Texas was 2003, so that was the overturn of the sodomy ban. Most states still had sodomy bans.
Oh, I mean, the 90s were really kind of, and it was also like, I don't want to get too much into that, but that's my theory, is that at that time, this story was what America thought was a very healing, positive, uplifting story, to see a man struggle through the act of being a brilliant man who cheats on his wife in order to achieve great art, and all the obstacles he manages to clear out of his way through dumb luck and strong connections in politics. That was an uplifting story in the late 90s.
Well, and think about it. Think about 1998 versus, and then 9/11. I mean, everything changed.
That's when we had a whole new thing to obsess over.
Yes.
Yeah, a new like existential crisis.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't white masculinity, it was just whiteness.
Whiteness in general.
Yeah, just whiteness.
And fear of other. And fear of other. Brown people, and fear of terrorism.
Yeah, we kind of went back to that old theme that's really been a good standby for
it has. We just, every 10 to 20 years, we're like, hey, are we still racist?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, we racist. We're racist as fuck in this country.
But in the late 90s, they had 3 Best Picture winners in a row that featured nary a black person, so not racist at all, right?
No, yeah, super, super great. I am very excited, and I'm not looking for a spoiler. I'm not trying to disappoint your audience when you do watch American Beauty. Ugh. But I do hope we do it on a webcast, because I want to call in as a guest after you watch it with whoever you watch it with, and just yell about Lester Burnham for 4 minutes. Give me 4 minutes.
Okay.
That's all I want. Because this, now that I'm putting this in the context of the other movies around it, it is just so terrible. It's so terribly true, everything you just said. Like, how unoriginal is this story?
Yes.
But because it's in shitty iambic pentameter, not even real iambic pentameter, the Academy just like literally came and then gave them 80 Oscars.
I can hear the voice of my mother in my head right now, like, can't you just enjoy anything? I can't.
No!
I can't enjoy shit.
You know what I can? I can enjoy. You know what I enjoy? I enjoy the birdcage. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy movies.
I enjoy plenty of shit.
I enjoy plenty of shit. Yeah. I enjoy Tu Wong Fu.
Yep.
As I've mentioned before.
I love almost every horror movie ever made.
Do you really? See, there we go. Yeah. I like movies.
But not this one.
Not this one. What we're saying is, save yourself the 2 hours. Let's think of 3 things you could do with those 2 hours that aren't this, and then I will stop talking. 3 things. First thing, take a nap. We almost did 50 times. Second thing, read your weather app.
Thoroughly, the whole screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And third, delete your white cis ex-boyfriend's number out of your phone.
Do it. Honey, it's time to move on. I know that you're like, I want to be an integrated and entire whole person, but like, you can jettison some parts of your past, and it's totally fine.
Jason isn't going to change.
No, he isn't.
Oh, they never do.
They just grow up to be the bad guy on Handmaid's Tale.
That's the real story.
Yes, it is.
That's the real story. Joseph Fiennes, brokenhearted,
yes,
reinvents himself in a dystopian America.
Yes.
And takes women as
absolutely
slaves.
It. If you let a man get away with acting like Shakespeare does in this movie, you end up with Commander Waterford. That is exactly the end result of that.
Oh, Handmaid's Tale is a sequel to Shakespeare in Love. Almost makes this palatable.
I'm still gagging a little bit, but yeah, that's true. Brooke, thank you so much for doing this podcast. People need to know about you.
Me.
What if you have a new album?
I do, yes. I Have Straight Friends and Other Confessions is the name of the album. It's available on iTunes. Speaking of cis white men, beat out cis white men in April of 2018, and my album debuted at #1 on iTunes.
Amazing!
I beat out like 40 John Mulaney albums for about 50 hours. I was like, this is...
Oh,
I did
he's
a lot of
one of the good ones.
I know! Oh,
that's good.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So far.
Videos are funny like that. They just surface. And I have a monthly show in Columbus, Ohio, so if you're in town, come check it out. And you can check out everything and upcoming shows on my website, brookecartus.com, and my Instagram, not gay as in happy, and that on there I sell my shirts that benefit Mid-Ohio anti-domestic violence organizations.
And I love your shirts, because what do your shirts say?
They say, they're very subtle. They say, "Stop booking rapists."
Stop booking rapists, Creek in the Cave.
Stop booking.
That's right. I've never even been to New York, and I know what the fuck you're up to here in Austin, Texas.
Oh, unbelievable. Okay. What a week.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with probably some more angry feminism. You can follow us on the Facebook. We're also not on any other social media because I don't know how to do it very well. But we are on every single podcasting platform. So if you're just clicking play on this because someone shared the link, go ahead and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher. We're on Spotify. We're on Deezer. We're on Google Play. If you ask Amazon, if you have one of those devices you talk to and you tell them about us, they'll start playing one of our episodes. So just get into it, get on board, and listen to all 90 movies get unfairly dissected by angry women and or meek men who go along with what I'm doing.
I'm calling in for the American Beauty rant, so stay tuned for me.
Stay tuned for more Brooke on the phone yelling.
Thank you so much, Karina.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.